Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my guide for the Asset Lab in GTA Online, added in the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. If you want to know more about how you can get started with the business, then please do check out the guide I've made for that previously, because this video will just purely focus on the business itself. Before you do anything with the business at all, I would highly advise you to start doing the Dex phone missions as soon as you can. After the first mission of the first dose missions, you will receive a phone call from him, and you will also see him being added to your contacts. From then, you will be able to request work from him when you call him. The reason why you should do this is for two different reasons. 1. Doing 10 of these will allow you to upgrade your Asset Lab. 2. There is a 48-minute cooldown after completing one. This is real life time and you don't have to stay on the game for the cooldown to expire. There's a total of 5 different Dex missions. Each of them have 3 different variations. The Dex missions aren't too bad, though I would personally advise you to avoid the Crop Duster mission after you've done it like once to kind of see what it's all about. It is long, the Crop Duster is very slow, is not even able to get up to a mountain, and well, if you quickly switch a session, you can just simply request a new and better job, unless you get unlucky and get it again. The other missions are all pretty straightforward, it's nothing too difficult. If you're playing the Lost MC mission, by the way, or the one in La Puerta to kill and take a picture of the boss, the locations of those are always the same. I've also left a little bit of footage for you so you can kind of see where they're located and how to beat the missions pretty easily. So let's dive into the business itself. The Asset Lab can be spawned and used anywhere on the map. You can drive it to Mount Chiliad and then from there start your resupply or sale mission if you wish to do so, or you can also just keep it at a warehouse. It doesn't really matter. As long as the Asset Lab is outside, you'll be able to start a sale and or a resupply mission. And if you are a little bit preoccupied with going for a swim in the Alamo Sea and your Asset Lab is about to run out of supplies, then fear not. You can just simply call Mutt to get a resupply order in. Whether that's to source them or just to simply buy them, he's always just a call away. You don't even need to visit the Asset Lab either, which is fantastic. And while we're on the topic of supplies, there's a total of 5 different sourcing missions. Each of them have 3 variations as well. The chemical spill mission will require you to take out a bunch of enemies and pick up the supplies. In my variation here, there were insurgents, so bring a sniper. The grain trailer, which tasks you to go and use a tractor to bring the trailer full of grain to a nearby location. Again, bunch of enemies, bring snacks and armor. The warehouse mission, basically the same as the introduction mission to the Asset Lab, but this time if the supplies get a little bit too damaged, stuff is going to be a little bit more blurry. The driving though is not going to get affected by this effect. The van mission will task you to go to a location, find a schedule, and then pray to the RNG gods you will find the right one of the 3 vans that are running around. The van can be easily recognized by having a bright red box in the back of it. If you see that, you found yourself the correct van. It will also just tell you to steal the van instead, just shoot out the driver. And finally, the airdrop mission that requires you to, well, go to an airdrop location and then locate the airdrop, which also grants you a visit from a friendly neighbor by the name of APC. You know, like you do. Look out for a parachute hanging somewhere on either a pillar or like a tree or anything along those lines to have an easier time finding it. The bright red parachute should probably just be a dead giveaway. Simply shoot the little wires between the parachute and the crate for it to fall down. Completing one of these source missions will be giving you a total of 1.5 bars worth of resupplies. You can also have the option to purchase supplies like with all the other passive businesses for a small price of $60,000. Doing so will require you to wait 10 minutes within free roam for them to arrive. You will need a total of 3 resupply purchases in order to complete a full cycle of product. This will cost you $180,000. From those 3 resupply purchases, you will need 2 full resupplies and 1 bar of the supplies from the 3rd resupply that you purchased in order to fill up your product completely. Sale missions follow a similar path to the sourcing missions. There are 3 different types of sale missions, each with 5 variations. The Paperboy sale mission requires you to go to 10 different locations and throw newspapers in a tiny basket. Here's a pro tip: you can't get off your bike so you don't end up like this. Yeah, it's quite something. The stash sale mission, which is arguably the easiest one, just go to 5 different locations and then just stash the asset in one of the 3 locations in the yellow circle. The ambush sale mission, which is probably the most difficult one, because the cops will ambush you and you will have to lose your wanted level and then bring the goods back to a backup drop-off location. But what is the pay? $236,600 without upgrades, and with upgrades it is $335,200. This is obviously without any high demand cash bonus, which will grant you an additional $6,704 for each player in a session if you have an upgraded asset lab. By no means it is required to have an asset lab for the high demand cash bonus, but I'm just letting you know how much it is. Which means then when sold in a 26 player or above lobby, you will earn $502,800 for said upgraded asset lab. But obviously, that doesn't tell the full story of the asset lab. We need to dive a little bit deeper into all the numbers to get a better understanding of what exactly is going on with the asset lab. And numbers I have. Here we go. Let's talk about the time to resupply first. Without upgrades, it will take 23 minutes per supply bar and 115 minutes for the supplies to run out. Add production speed to this and it will take 12 minutes per supply bar and 60 minutes for the entire supply. With an upgraded asset lab, 31 minutes per supply bar and 155 minutes for the full lab. And if you add production speed to that, it will become 15 minutes per bar and 75 minutes for the full lab. Production speed is basically just making everything go twice as fast, which also reflects in the time it takes for the asset lab to completely fill up and be ready to be sold. For a non-upgraded asset lab, it will take 72 minutes per bar and 6 hours for a full lab to be able to be sold. With production speed, this will be half to 36 minutes per bar and 3 hours for a full lab. And when upgraded, the time per product bar will become 48 minutes and 4 hours for a full lab. And with production speed, this will be half to 25 minutes and 2 hours and 5 minutes. Now, before you click off and jump to the comments to scream and shout at Rockstar, please do hear me out. There's more to this asset lab as you might think. The asset lab is practically kind of free, or at the very least, half price. The reason for this is because to unlock it, you will first need to complete the first dose missions, and with those missions, you will earn $500,000 in total from all the rewards. The asset lab costs $750,000 to set up, so after the first sale, you're effectively already kind of turning a profit. That is, if you didn't buy any supplies. So what's the best way to go about it, and what are basically my overall thoughts? Personally, I'd say if you want to start a new business that you frankly don't really have to do much for, have to go anywhere to start a resupply mission or buy any supplies for, then yeah, I'd say treat it pretty casually and as a nice to have. Slowly but surely make your way through the Dex phone missions, and when those are done, then I'd say it will be worth to start working on your asset lab. Before that, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The amount that you earn with it really doesn't warrant all the effort. Unless you're a newer player that is just starting out. The asset lab is that business where you want to spend a little bit of time into on a daily basis, rather than all day, every day, and just keep it running 24/7 like you have with all the other passive businesses. Letting it run in the background 24/7 really doesn't make any sense. Rather, when you hop into the game, spawn the asset lab, resupply it, and let the extra reduction speed do its magic, because as you can tell by the numbers, it really just halves the amount of time you spend with it, because after all, it is still a passive business. The asset lab, in my opinion, by design, looks as though to be that business that is for those that are completely new to the game and are really just starting out. It's a nice beginner's business that really doesn't require any sort of grand investment or anything like that, and can just be bought simply right after you finish playing the first dose missions. It's not a bunker or a biker business that will require millions to buy one and then more millions to even upgrade. For those that are looking for that kind of money, the bunker and the biker businesses still do exist. This is not that kind of business. It's not really a business for veteran players or folks who are looking to make a new fast way to make money. Because, quite frankly, that is not what this is, and I think that's also by design. So for those of you who are looking to make a quick buck, guess what time it is? Back to Kai Perico for you, like you've been doing in the past 2 years. I'm sure Pavo has missed you the last 2 days. Oh, and if you just want to idle out and go get a sandwich while the Asset Lab makes you some money, then well, have a look at the security cameras for a little while. It won't kick you out of the game when you do so. And well, sometimes you might see something funny on the cameras if you're in a public lobby. And that is all there is to it. That is all you need to know about the Asset Lab. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, please do leave a like, subscribe for more. And if you really like what you see on the channel, please consider becoming a member like Chloe, KFC Chicken, Not Fatigue, Maddie, and GTA Plus. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all later.